Really quickly about using the word in. I'm going to use a list as an example to do the in. Now, lists aren't essential for you to know for Year 7, however, they are something that's useful. So this is something that you might use, so I'm going to go through a list and using the word in. Now, a list is essentially a variable box that holds many different answers rather than just one individual piece of data. It holds lots of different answers. So I might start a list about how you're feeling today. So I'm going to call it how, and I'm going to put equals here. Now, a list has square brackets, and then it has different elements in it. Now, I'm going to have words. So I'm going to put maybe 3 different words in here, separated by a comma. So if I said to someone, how are you today? They might say good, or they might say okay, or they might say fine. So they're 3 potential words that someone could answer if I asked them a question. And they're in this list, and there's 3 different answers in there. Now, I actually want to ask the person. So I'm going to create a variable called the answer. I'm going to ask for a string input, which is a written input. I'm going to put the word input, so I know it's a question for the user. And I'm going to ask them a question in here. How are you today? How are you today? Question mark space. Close my brackets. So now I've got a variable that has a list of potential answers, and I've got a variable that actually has what the user said. So now let's use this in statement. So we could say if the answer from the user is in our list, we're going to do something. So this line is really important. If the answer that the user gives is in our list up in here, then we're going to say print, and we might say, that's good. That's good. Okay, now if it's not in that list, let's give us an else. So if it's not in that list, let's print just something pretty generic. That's interesting. Okay, so if they say the word good, okay, or fine, it should print out that's good. If they don't say any of those words, then it should just print out that's interesting. So I'm just going to save my file, I'm going to run it. Okay, how are you today? Right, so I'm going to write good. Enter, that's good. All right, let's run my program again and test it again. How are you today? I'm going to write bad. So it should say interesting. Right, that's interesting. Right, let's test these other ones. Okay and fine. Run module. Okay, and that worked. And let's run it one more time. I'm going to make a mistake this time. Now watch this time. I'm going to put a capital F for fine in here. And it says that's interesting. Because the program is looking for the exact words that are in here. Lowercase fine, lowercase okay, lowercase good. So what we could do is we could add a little function in the end here called lower with 2 brackets. And then no matter how the user answers, it'll convert it into lowercase, and then it'll understand whether it's in the how list at the top here. So I'm just going to save that. I'm going to run it again, and this time I'm going to write the word good all in capitals. So last time that wouldn't have worked, but now that I'm converting everything to lower, it should find it in the list, and it says that's good. So I'm going to run it one more time. Run module, and I'm going to write fine with a capital F, a small I, a capital N, a small E, and I hit enter, and it still says that's good because this little lower converts it all to lowercase. So that's how we use the word in, and we're looking in a list.